Chandhu, one question I have is like, I think post COVID, the one thing that happened was the equation changed, right? People used to live their life offline, right, in the physical world. And then all of a sudden, COVID happens. And now we all literally spend more time online than we do offline, right? And that changes the whole thing. And there's the evolution of, thank you Facebook for giving us driving the promotion of the topic, which is the metaverse, right? I think, but I do believe like the having that virtual worlds and this hybrid physical digital worlds, if you will, and like online universe, if you will, the metaverse can substantially improve the experience that you were talking about, the access that you were talking about, and so forth. What are your thoughts on it? What are your plans around the metaverse? And just give me a lay of the land. How you see that technology? I mean, is that anything new? Is that old wine in new bottle? Like, give me a view of the land.
No, I think it is going to be a new and different world that all of us will have to go through. And I probably shy away from the specifics of what we're trying to do. We got some interesting ideas,
Sure.
but I'll share kind of my perspective on kind of metaverse. And look, we talked about the customer of the future, which is a lot of the young kids. You have a kid, I have a young kid. They all grow up in a very different world where digital is their first world in a way. And if you think
Yep.
about, the first adopters of metaverse is going to be a lot of the gamers who are out there, right? So they live in that world, and you can see some of the adoption and what's there. So if you truly are going to say, hey, we're going to meet the customer where they are, where are the customers going to be in the future?
That's true.
It's a simple way to look at it, right? So and it could be some sort. There's a potential of some form of metaverse, being there, and I think it will be there. That's my personal opinion. Now, the challenge for all of us who sit in the real world, which is the current world, and all the things that is real around us, is how do you parse between the hype and the reality of anything that is new that is coming up, right? So, and
Sure.
how do you balance your investments in people capital around each of these things, right? So, and there is, you
Yep.
talked about experimentation. How do you test and experiment different things? So I think you will see a lot of experimentation happening, in the marketing media world. There's a lot of metaverse experimentation happening with brands. You can see there's a lot of ideas around uh, what I would call as loyalty in that kind of space, leveraging metaverse to reward members and whatnot, that I've seen in the industry, right? So now our thought process again, like, what's customer problem are we going to solve, and do we meet the, is our customer base currently in that world? That's the first question you got to ask. And if it is, what do we need to do for them now? Is our customer of the future being in that world, and that what should our footprint be? And then that'll go down to yeah, how do you make your investments in the infrastructure part of these new digital world versus the application layer, or the hype layer, I would call it, of this, right? So most times when you have such paradigm shifts happening in technology, which is where we are between metaverse and a lot of the Web3
Yep.
and aspects of it,
Crypto
like,
and yep.
we may have to start making our investments in some of those core infrastructure that is leading to it. So you have the flexibility when it scales up to be in that space quicker and experiment quick in that space. So that's just kind of my general thinking. And yeah, I think it's a
Fascinating.
fascinating space for me, and it's a topic by itself, that we can go on and on. Ganesh, that's
Yeah,
really
we'll
a few.
maybe we'll come back and do that again in a future show when you guys are ready to talk about the plans in the metaverse.
Absolutely,
But I
absolutely.
I do believe like I'm a proud investor in a company called Superworld, and they're trying to bring how do you bring the physical world and your what you own and think and feel and want to promote into the virtual. They're kind of the gateway to the metaverse, if you will. So they're doing fantastic, and how they're actually really creating a community more than anything of people who want to take the physical world onto an online experience, if you will. So it's fascinating.